Welcome, everyone, to this 2K Sports broadcast of the Pacers live from Indianapolis, Indiana. And as we start the weekend here on this Friday night, this is Kevin Harlan with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, welcoming you to NBA basketball on 2K Sports. The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. And guys, taking a look at Paul George, what will we see from him?
Well, Kevin, he never misses the chance to go up for a dunk. So I'd advise guys to either get in position to take a charge or maybe just get out of the way.
And also, there aren't many players better at anticipating an opponent's next move, waiting for his moment and then jumping in the way of a pass to come up with the steal. He's got that mastered.
And with the road trip approaching, the Pacers will play the final game of their homestand. Well, it's been an improvement this year over last season. They made a lot of adjustments, and happy to see that they translate into some tangible results.
Well, for Indiana, they've continued their outstanding play. I mean, they're definitely...
Pass to Fisher. West a screen on Knight. Fisher dishes to Hill. Hill gets a screen from Fisher. Hill kicks to Fisher. West a screen on Knight. Just 5 to shoot. Tipped away. And stolen by Knight. And here's the fast break. Knight leading the way. Shot by Mayo is no good.
In terms of rebounding, it's been a sensational opening quarter.
I like sensational. That's a good word for it. Boy, he shows a lot of desire when he's fighting for that tough board. And his length doesn't hurt either. It was certainly a slow start to the season for the Pacers. Their veteran and leading scorer, Danny Granger, was on the shelf with a knee injury. But somehow this team found its identity around defense and the emergence of some younger players that may serve them well going forward. You get Danny Granger back with the young, emerging talent. This team should contend for a while.
John Henson's checked in for the Bucks. Ridnour has come in for O.J. Mayo. Fisher, the pass to Scola. And that one's good.
How did he get that to go?
Even after the whistle, I like the awareness, the alertness, and the presence of mind to finish the play.
And Granger was able to come back for them for a stretch during the regular season, but eventually had to once again miss the rest of the games. But the team had grown to where, that probably didn't derail them, as it might have, Steve, in the past.
Well, the big thing with the Pacers, Kevin, is that they have a lot of depth now across the roster. And with the emergence of Paul George, who kind of took Granger's spot, they were able to move on pretty well without him.
Ridnour against George. From downtown, and another three for Milwaukee.
Boy, that is just good stuff for him. Nice touch.
Pacers trail by 3.
He doesn't have the elite speed or shooting ability to be an impact starter, but Luke Ridnour, with his experience in the league, the way he can run an offense, his ball handling skills, and his three-point shot-making ability, is ideally suited to be a backup point guard and a very effective one for any team in the league.
Delfino dishes to Henson. And there's the feed to Delfino. George against Ridnour. Doubled by Fisher. Ridnour's shot is off. And Ridnour's three-point percentage has fallen off the last few seasons, Steve, but he's still one of the top mid-range shooters in the game.
Yes, he is. Former 14th overall pick out of Oregon back in 2003. Defensively, he can sometimes be at a disadvantage, but he's really carved out a nice, long career.
Smith kicks to Ridnour. Beyond the arc. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. And now a 6-point Bucks lead. And a look at how the hustle game has been going for Milwaukee.
And they've come out in attack mode defensively, applying pressure and stealing the ball repeatedly.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnover. They've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
Yeah, me too, Clark. I think anytime you have success pounding the ball inside, you've got to continue to go to the well.
And the shot is good.
Ran his man straight into that screen to open the lane up for the hoop.
How about a look at the Pacers and where they ranked in the NBA last season? First in rebounding, fourth in blocks, As far as free throw shooting as a team goes, not a strong shooter. Top 20 in the league. A little bit of work to be done there.
But when you think about this club, the first thing that comes to mind is their ability to rebound the ball. Best in the league, so physical. They just pounded the glass, and that's how they tried to win games, just by being more physical than their opponents.
Ridnour kicks to Smith. No one near him. Gets rebounded by Indiana. Want to keep rolling here following the win against Memphis.
Yeah, that was a strange game. Very shaky defensive performance by their opponent, but hey, they took advantage of it.
Yeah, I'd go along with that. I mean, the game wasn't handed to them, but they definitely didn't have to work as hard as they should have.
A nice shot by George.
You know, the defense didn't exactly try to fight around that screen, and that's why it turned into the easy basket.
George against Ridnour. The pass to Udo. Kicks it to Ridnour. He dishes it to Henson. 14 feet away. No good on the buzzer beater. And still a close game as the first quarter comes to a close. Bucks lead by 3. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter.
On tap this Saturday, November 16th, Paul George and the Indiana Pacers take on Derrick Rose and the Chicago Bulls. A Central Division battle. Make sure to catch it.
And so far, it's been a... And just over 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter. Fisher, the pass to Hibbert. He feeds it to Fisher. Indiana moving it around. And George kicks to Hill. Hibbert. It's back to Hill. No good on the triple. Setting the floor for the Bucks. Delfino and Ilyasova, the forwards. Mayo out there with Brandon Knight. And it's Sanders in at the 5.
In this quarter, he's really been off the mark. He just looks a little bit unsettled.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, guys, baddest one in the last outing against the Grizzlies came through when they needed him to. He ended with a few points, and that scoring outburst set a new season high for him in what was a great exhibition on his part. The cherry on top for him, in addition to his outing, was ending the losing streak his team had been suffering through. We all know how big those moments can be for a team, Kevin.
All right, Doris, thanks. That really was a spectacular game for him, even by Steve Hiscan.
Well, those are pretty high standards ordinarily. We'll see how much it carries over. It's not a performance that will be easy to repeat.
But you like to have that in your arsenal and on your resume so you can call on it the next time you get out on the court. So I think it'll serve him better than it won't.
And here's the fast break. Knight leading the way. 6 feet out. And it's in off the backboard. And now it's a 9-point Milwaukee lead.
You know, size-wise, this is not a great one-on-one matchup for him, but he got that shot to go.
But you wouldn't know it by how he finished. That's a nice hoop there.
Fisher, the finger roll finish at the bucket. Fisher's got his first points in this one.
You know, in Larry Drew's case, it was a bit of an unusual situation once the season concluded. He was in the final year of his deal. Hawks said we'll interview other candidates and left him free to interview for other head coaching positions, and he landed in Milwaukee.
Looking at who's out there now for the Bucks. Udo's checked in for Sanders, and Gary Neal subbed in for O.J. Mayo. Smith against Fisher. Here's Ilyasova. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more. Well, Steven, back to Coach Drew, of course. He ended up signing with the Bucks.
Well, that was an interesting move for him to go from Atlanta to Milwaukee. You know, the Hawks were one of the better defensive teams in the league last year. I think that's what the Bucks saw in Drew. And that's the idea for him to really help this team get the most out of its players, particularly defensively.
Here's Fisher. Got a piece of it. Delfino with the steal. With the lead pass. And it's sent back by George. Fisher with the ball. Kicks it out to Granger. And once again off the mark by Indiana.
Oh, boy, he is just cold as ice. I don't think he's going to be the one to help them cut into the lead.
When the NBA realigned its divisions back in 2004, the Bucks saw themselves come in dead last in the Central for the first few years, but here recently they've strung together some solid seasons and usually are second or third in the division.
And stolen by Fisher. He kicks to West. Rejected by Udo.
Well, he hasn't had much success shooting the ball, but it's not too late for him to get it turned around and start contributing.
Here's Smith. And Udo with the stuff.
Up and in with force after the offensive rebound. I like that tenacity.
Yeah, he is so sturdy. He just battles for every rebound.
West a screen on Smith. It's stolen by Udo. And up the court come the Bucks on the break. Pass to Delfino. The drive by Smith. And that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending call right there.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
And the crowd immediately letting the officials have it after that whistle.
A very unpopular call there.
And the Bucks with some changes. John Ensign's checked in for Ilyasova. And Luke Ridnour subbed in for Carlos Delfino. So we've reached the end of the first half of play. The Bucks on top.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
Hey everyone, I'm Damon Bruce. A great game going on out in Indiana. The Milwaukee Bucks have the lead against Indiana. Defensive pressure so far paying off. They're forcing miscues, ripping and running. Brandon Knight playing great through 2 quarters. He has 8 points, and it's been a good overall defensive game for him. He's brought a nice intensity to the floor in this one. And doing their best to stay alive, the Indiana Pacers. They've started out well this season, but experiencing a letdown in this one. For Danny Granger, it's been an off game. Everything's been rimming out for him. He's got to be frustrated. And that's all there is to it. Thanks so much for spending halftime with me. Now it's time to send you back out for the start of the third quarter.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Now the second half about to start up. Here is Ilyasova. 6 points for him. Ilyasova gets a screen from Sanders. Mayo defended by George. Mayo dishing to Knight. Feeds to Delfino. That's good. The assist that time from Knight. Delfino's got 10.
Well, Delfino's a good player, Kevin. He's not somebody you think of when you think, oh, you know, can he take over a game? But he's pretty explosive offensively. And he's a guy who, if you fall asleep on him, he's going to score. He'll find some shots from deep and also driving to the basket.
Right, from deep, and from deep on the baseline, too. You put him down in the corner, and he just doesn't miss. Down low, West and Hibbert. George and Granger on the perimeter. And it's Fisher in at the point guard position. That's the Pacers 5. Delfino, Granger covering, tied for 3. David West grabs the miss. West has got 9 rebounds now tonight.
I think the lead they've built here, guys, is in large part due to what they've done on the boards.
Absolutely. I mean, they have a +10 advantage in rebounds, and they've been in total control of the backboard.
And that one's good from Fisher.
I'll tell you what, the defenders didn't even get a sniff of him on that move to the hoop.
So for the Bucks, their last game a loss to Orlando.
And no matter what they tried to do in that loss, Kevin, it just didn't work out for them.
Yeah, to me, it seemed like they kind of gave into it. Like you said, they didn't show too much fight back when it got to double digits, and that's concerning.
Here's Sanders. West with the block. They recover it. Delfino kicks to Ilyasova. Passes it to Knight. Dishes to Mayo. Leads him in there. Ilyasova can't hit.
Well, you look at Paul George, my man, PG-24, the young swingman out of Fresno State. Boy, he had a terrific year last season, was the most improved player last season, and a first-time NBA All-Star. You consider how young he is, just turned 23, and he's got the potential to make plenty more All-Star games, and I think he could ultimately be a Defensive Player of the Year at some time in his career.
6 on the shot clock. Here's Knight. And count it. 2 points with a chance for one more at the free throw line.
And that kind of power move has become a trademark for him.
And the Bucks with some changes. Luis Scola, he's checked in for Hibbert. Hill comes in for Danny Granger. And George Hill's subbed in for Paul George. Fisher, the pass to West. The 3. And the basket by Hill. Hill's got 5 points now this quarter. And for Paul George, the 10th pick back in 2010, what a terrific find for the Pacers.
Well, he was already a good player, but I think the injury to Danny Granger last season created the opportunity for George to really emerge as an all-star. And that's exactly what he did. Dangerous inside and out, excellent defensive player, has a chance to be really special.
Terrific job that time defending at the rim. I mean, it's not an easy task stopping that fella when he's headed to the bucket like that. Good job.
Scola, a screen on Knight. Right side Hill. The dish to Fisher. West a screen on Knight. And Fisher kicks it to West. Goes back up. And the layup is good. West has got 17.
Their rebounding has been off the charts today, guys. Reason number 1, this game is out of hand.
Exactly. I mean, the score is right where you'd expect it to be when the battle on the boards is that lopsided.
Knight dishes to Neal. Offensive rebound. Smith laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
You got to put bodies on the glass right there. They just are not getting it done on the boards.
Yeah, they've got to do a much better job of going harder than that to the glass.
And keeping us updated from the sideline, let's swing it over to Doris Burke for an update. Hi, Doris.
Well, Kevin, a curious signing for the Bucks this offseason, bringing in Pachulia on a 3-year mid-level type deal. This is a team that already had a logjam in the front court with Sanders, Henson, Ilyasova, and Drew Gooden. The Bucks traded away promising forward Tobias Harris last year for what became a couple of second-round picks. They did much the same with Mbah Moute. It's all about getting the most out of your assets. Guys, we'll see how the Bucks do shuffling their pieces around.
It'll be interesting to see. Thanks, Doris. Smith on the wing. Pass to Sanders. Now the feed to Ilyasova. Knight, that's a 2-pointer, and that one's on target from the wing. Knight's got 5 points in the quarter.
I'll tell you what, he's enjoyed a very good day shooting the ball so far. He can bring them right back into this.
Fisher, the pass to West. The shot, no good. Solid defense there from Ilyasova. And here's the fast break. Knight leading the way. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Pacers will take it.
Now, a severe lack of awareness on his part. He had no idea he was near the out-of-bounds line.
Big group substitution here for Milwaukee. Granger, a screen on Ridden. Hibbert with the screen. Sanders against Fisher. Hibbert with a screen on Ridden. Doubled by Sanders. Clock at 6, and that one's good. 10 points for Roy Hibbert.
Now, he's one of the best in the league when it comes to executing that lead pass.
And Milwaukee, looking at who they got. Ilyasova and Sanders in the middle. Mayo and Delfino are the wings. And it's Ridnour in at the point guard. It's rebounded by Indiana. Hibbert's got his 8th rebound here tonight. And this is the first season matchup for them against this Milwaukee team.
Well, going back to last year for a second, this was one of the few matchups that they didn't get the better end of things. They split the season series.
Steve, you mentioned the stalemate they played to a year ago. Do you see that happening again this year?
Kevin, I'm not sure. It's really too early to tell. It wouldn't surprise me, I'd say that much, after what happened last year.
is Smith. He's checked in for the Bucks. And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
You know, when you're in the East, you don't have to necessarily be an above 500 team on the road, but you got to be close to 500. And the Bucks were a solid team on the road, and that's why they made the playoffs.
Chance now to check out the schedule for Milwaukee. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be in town for the next one. That'll be the first of 2 straight at home.
Yeah, no question for the Thunder. That's a game they'd really like to have.
Just over a minute and a half played here in the 4th. Hibbert with a screen on Smith, and Fisher kicks to Hibbert. That's good, and the assist goes to Fisher. Fisher's got his 7th assist of the game with that last one. And Clark, to talk about the Bucks, they went 17-24 on the road last season. That might not be the most impressive mark, but it was still 7th best in the conference in terms of road wins.
Well, the East was pretty weak. We know that. And the Bucks making the playoffs at all was the perfect example of how weak the East was. But look, they can get better. They've got some young talent. They've got some things to be excited about. And one is the play of John Henson, second in there for North Carolina. I'd say that shot was well within his range.
You think so? I mean, I was pretty good from 2 feet and in myself. That's a gimme there.
Smith outside. He passes to Delfino. Can they get it? That is good.
He's doing his best to carry him, fellas, but he can only do so much. Things would be different for them if he was getting a little more help.
Foul call. Looked like that he didn't get there in time, and he'll shoot free throws.
Well, he's a spot-up shooter, one of the best. He's one of those guys who, if you give him an inch, I mean, that's all it takes. He will let it fly and frequently knock down on that shot.
And another thing that stands out about him, Steve, he has the ability to score even with defenders draped all over him. He's so strong around the goal. You know, it had been a while since the Pacers were able to win their division. Matter of fact, the last time it happened was the season right before the NBA realigned the divisions to their current state back in 2004. But they were able to raise another banner last season.
And so he hits both. Well, a big part of why the Pacers were able to take the Central, as you were saying, Clark, they were so dominant within their division.
Well, they went 13-3 against their division, so not an easy thing to do. Although, if you look at the Central, he was down last year. Derrick Rose's injury, but also rebuilding teams in Milwaukee and Detroit and Cleveland. But the Pacers did what they needed to do.
Delfino gets a screen from Mayo. Mayo with a screen on Granger. Outside Delfino. Shot is off. And Indiana will go the other way with it. Fisher dishes to Granger. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2.
Well, Danny Granger played only portions of 5 games last season, guys, and basically was trying to overcome a torn patella tendon in his left knee. Had to be terribly frustrating for him.
First one falls for him. And a long row back for Danny Granger.
Yeah, I know the frustration dealing with a lot of knee issues of my own in my career. It's difficult when you have to face that year after year. Hopefully Granger would be able to come back and maintain or regain, I should say, that all-star form that he once showed. He could be a huge addition to this Pacer team.
Oh my God. A team right on the cusp, obviously. Yep. And we're about 3.5 minutes into the 4th quarter. Mayo, that's good.
Not trying to rattle any rims or racks there. Just up and in with the finger roll.
Pacers leading by 16. Fisher, the pass to Hibbert. Kicks it out to Granger. The pass to Fisher. Hibbert with a screen on Smith. Here's Fisher. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. And the Pacers lead by 18.
Give an assist there, not for the pass, but for the solid screen set on the inside that freed him up and made the layup possible.
Delfino kicks to Mayo. Pacers with the rebound. George has got 9 rebounds in the game, getting it done. Picked by West. Fisher dishes to West. That's good, and the assist goes to Fisher. Fisher's got assist number 9 now. Wow, what an effort here tonight. Here's Delfino. Granger covering. Mayo against George. Mayo into the lane. Smith the pass to Mayo. Clock is at 3. And stolen by Fisher. Fast break. Here comes Indiana. Fisher's running. Delfino with the steal. And here comes Smith leading the fast break. And Sanders kicks to Delfino. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down.
You know, with that much of a height advantage, that's exactly what you should do. Take it straight to the rim.
Fisher dishes to West. Again, Indiana.
He's played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without him, they may not be in the league.
Smith against Fisher. And it's Smith penetrating. And that one's good.
There's been a change in his game compared to what we saw in the first half. I mean, he's scoring with a lot of confidence now.
Here's Fisher. Hibbert with a screen on Smith. Fisher with the ball. Now Smith defending. Bucks trail by 18. Kicks to Delfino. Off the mark there with the three-point shot.
Well, remember, he made 2 3-pointers in the first half, but has not been able to get anything to fall here in the second.
West, and he drops in the layup off the glass. West has got 23 points.
Great interplay there between those 2 teammates.
Milwaukee's gotten off to an 0-for-2 start from downtown here in the fourth quarter. The drive by Smith. The kick out to Ilyasova. There's 3-pointers off the mark.
Almost surprised that he had that much room to work with.
Now Fisher. Hibbert with a screen on Smith. Fisher, the pass to Hibbert. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
After signing the big contract, a lot was expected from Roy Hibbert last season, and he put a little pressure on himself, but he also had a wrist injury, got off to a slow start, and didn't find his groove until the calendar turned to 2013.
And for Hibbert, first-time All-Star in 2012. His slow start cost him a shot, I think, to repeat as an All-Star last season. That was after he signed the big contract, too, with the Pacers.
Yeah, but he sure recovered well, because in the second half of the season and the playoffs, he was one of the best players in the NBA. In fact, gave Miami all kinds of troubles in the East Conference Finals.
6 to shoot. Here's Ilyasova. And so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2.
Well, you know, a big new contract, guys, for Ersan Ilyasova going into last season, and he terrified everybody in Milwaukee with a terrible start, but regained his confidence in January and finished the season strong.
And going back to the rough start for Ilyasova, not uncommon for players to struggle after getting that big new contract.
Yeah, I've seen it time and again, players putting a lot of pressure on themselves, trying to live up to the money. But in most cases, the coaches just want the player to do what he does already and what got him here in the first place.
Here's West. And it's Larry Sanders with the rebound.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
There's the bucket, good.
Well, this quarter has gone awfully well for him. It seems like every chance he's gotten, he's pretty much converted.
Fisher against Smith. And it's Granger penetrating. And the stuff by West.
The defense just couldn't recover in time.
Yeah, the D pretty much went brain neutral on that one, Clark. Wouldn't
Yes,
you?
sir. I like that phrase.
Yeah, I don't use that phrase very often, but to me, that's what happened. He shifted the brain into neutral.
Yes, he did.
That was embarrassing.
The Bucks making a switch here. Knights checked in. Bucks trail by 19. The kick out to Mayo. He dishes it to Sanders. Excellent D there from George.
You know, his finishing ability leaves a lot to be desired, guys. He needs to take it to the basket stronger.
West kicks to Fisher. 1:56 left in the fourth quarter of this one. Back to West. 5 to shoot. Somehow ignores the tight D and gets the layup. West has got 10 points now just in this quarter. For Milwaukee, they've gone 6 of 13, so just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter. And Ilyasova kicks to Knight. He feeds it to Ilyasova. Back to Knight. Takes the three. That's good.
That's like a layup for him. He's just wide open out there.
Pacers leading by 18. 1:24 left here in the fourth quarter. Granger dishes to Fisher. West to screen on Knight. And Fisher kicks it to West. That's good. And the assist goes to Fisher. 29 points for David West.
Well, I tell you what, I need to see some more assertiveness out of these defenders. They're not getting the job done.
Yeah, that's 10 of the last 12 points they've allowed on good looks right at the rim.
Mayo, the pass to Delfino. The Bucks need to get a shot off here. Here's Mayo. Gets the 14-footer to fall.
Now their offense has kicked into gear, but seems to have arrived a little bit too late.
And as a coach, that can really be frustrating. I mean, your guys were stumbling along for most of the game, and now, when it's basically over, they finally decide to come alive.
Hibbert with the screen. And Fisher kicks to George. And out of bounds as the Bucks gain possession. A platoon swap here for Milwaukee. So no problem for Indiana as they get the win. And this one was such a lopsided victory.
They never let up. They were full throttle from the start.
And that'll wrap it up for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan, and thanks for tuning in.
Tonight, for the first time, you cracked double digits in assists. Did you see this coming before the game, or did it end up being a bit of a surprise?
I can't say I expected it. It's kind of the nature of the game I play, though, so we can't act as if it's a total shock. I love to pass the ball when it makes sense, and I guess here it made enough sense to get me a bunch of assists. Like they say, the simple explanation is almost always the best one, right?